Oh, the audio. Oh, there we go. That should be good. All right, let's see if we're good now. And all right, is that better? Let's see. Let's check the YouTube. And check YouTube. See if we have sound there. All right, looks like we have sound now, but we have to mute it on our side, or else it's like really funky sounding. Otherwise, I get to sit there. So that means that our whole audience missed you being romantic at the very beginning there. Well, hi everybody.
And they missed me singing.
This is
as well.
And dancing. No, the dancing they would have seen. All right, this is Kimberly Adams Mann of the Adams Mann team here at Shore West Realtors and TAMThomes.com, and I am joined with my lovely team member and husband,
Russell Mann.
Yes. Who's all decked out again this week?
Yeah, I thought I'd wear the full ensemble.
Full ensemble?
Yeah.
Well, I'm still in Shore Westy stuff. I'm just not in the...
I'm in the TAMT Homes Shore Westy stuff.
Well, and part of the reason, though, is that it's a little cold for me still to wear that.
Oh, I've got another T-shirt underneath.
Yeah, that's still too cold for me. Look, feel my hands.
But at least...
I have a turtleneck.
I was able to get out of the suit.
I had a turtleneck on. I have a turtleneck and this nice warm jumper-y thing, and my hands are still cold.
Yeah, they're always cold. Always.
I know, my hands are always cold. So, but they always say, is it cold hands, warm heart?
I don't know, do they?
I think that's the saying.
All right.
I don't know. Let us know, folks. Is it cold hands, warm heart? I think that's the right way. I'm going to go with that because I have cold hands.
So
Otherwise,
if I've
it's
got
the
warm
opposite.
Hands, I have a cold heart.
Yes, that's what it means, you cold-hearted bastard. I don't know if we can say that on YouTube. Can we say the B word? No. Well, I did say this is not a channel that's designed for kids. I have marked our whole channel as not designed for kids, so that should help. I may actually stop the streaming here for just a half a second just to see. Oh, it looks like we actually are streaming a little bit better now, although YouTube doesn't seem to recognize that. So the only thing I can think of is I might stop the stream and adjust something really quickly. So hang with us for a second, folks. I want to stop the actual live streaming part. It'll still live. All right. Oh, no, that's not good. Oh, definitely not Twitch. See, I'm trying to go low key. Well, that's not with us. I'm hoping. No, see, it goes to red pretty quick. No.
Oh, it's gone to yellow again.
Yeah, it's just flipping to red an awful lot. 34, which is not optimal. It says 3840 is not optimal. All right, folks, we are still streaming through YouTube. I'm trying to fix this because it's just not, it's given us all sorts.
Excellent connection, it says now.
But it doesn't have an excellent connection. It's not actually connected yet. Okay. Oh, I know what the problem is. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you haven't got the cable in.
I don't have the cable in. Oh. Folks, you can, okay.
Well, we've got excellent connection.
No, we don't. We have no data because I stopped it and it's still flashing yellow, and she said she heard excellent connection and then it dropped. Okay, pick and sound is back and now it's gone again. Okay, so it says excellent connection. We're back, but we're buffering. See, that's what we were seeing on our side, is we could see the buffering happening. Okay, that... YouTube's telling us now that we have excellent connection, even though our vMix doesn't look like it's excellent connection. So if we save and close, leave it at that. At least YouTube's not screaming at us anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So save and close. There we go.
Error.
See, that's the YouTube error that we were having before. I don't know why that even paused. Okay, here's the other issue, I think. Because I have a feeling that part of the problem might be because I need to do that. And let's see what happens if I turn off the Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, when you're plugged into the cord,
Yeah,
you
it
really
tries
don't-
to use both.
and it tries to use both, you sometimes get something not so good out of it. That's for sure.
You get a confliction.
Get conflict. All right, let's see. No, it's definitely. Let's try this. She says it seems better when we turned off the Wi-Fi, which is good. Okay. On our side, we can see that it's more yellow than red, which is good. We're waiting to see what YouTube says.
An excellent connection again.
And
Error.
and then error. Yep. It goes straight to that. So, well, we're just going to have to go with this as the no 1080p Twitch setting. This is setting number 3. Okay, at first that's saying excellent connection now.
I thought we tried that.
No, that's the highest. Well, we might have, but that's the last one that I haven't tried just since we've been plugged in. Okay, let's see if YouTube likes this one. This is really all down to the YouTube gods, you guys. And the problem is there's a bit of a lag for us, so we can click start, and then we have to wait like a minute before we actually see if it's a good connection with YouTube. Because it said excellent connection, and then it tells us that it's not receiving enough. And like YouTube is like way behind us.
What was the setting?
You know what? I'm going to leave it at this.
Okay.
We're just going to leave it here because I can't remember what the setting was, and I'll have to play with it afterwards. Maybe we'll do some private live later. So you are just going in and out and constantly buffering. Going in and out, but that was actually on purpose because we were trying different. The constant buffering, no, that's not on purpose. But the going in and out, that was on purpose because what I was doing was starting and stopping it so that we could change the settings. Because if we're streaming, we can't change the setting in the middle of streaming. So that's why we had to do it that way. All right, so let's just see if it improves at all. I mean, it is showing us on our side as if this is good. Like, that's a good setting. Look, it's mostly yellow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to save and close. We're just going to go with that for now. It's going to have to be some buffering and maybe just back it up about 5 minutes, and that might help you not buffer as much, folks. So back it up about 5 minutes. Well, maybe when you hear this, because we're going to have to do some editing on this one, I'm afraid. But we are here this evening, and sorry for all the technical difficulties this week. I don't know it. Just when we think we've got it all figured out, nothing's figured out. Oh, see, now we have excellent connection, it says.
Mm-hmm.
See? Just when we think it's all
Not figured out.
all
It's
not figured out, then it gets figured out. It is, I swear, it is like it's the coming in and out and stuff. So we've had a really busy week this week. So let's talk. While we have excellent connection, or while the YouTube gods are smiling at us, maybe we should talk really, really, really fast. You won't have time to be romantic like you were before.
or sing songs.
Oh. I just heard your explanation and you're just going with that. Yep, we're just going with what we've got. YouTube has told us now that we have an excellent connection. So it's possible that it will improve in about another minute for you guys. So hopefully that works. So we had a really busy week. And I will say, I mean, it's not the reason that we didn't go live now properly and why it's not working so well. That has nothing to do. Yeah, leave it. It's not a message. It's just a... Yeah, same message we keep getting. But we did get something just before we went live on air, and I was kind of distracted by that because we have our photos. Ooh. We literally received them like 5 minutes before we went live, so I have not had a chance, especially with all these technical difficulties. I'm not messing with anything extra, that's for sure. Yeah. But we have our new photos for the team.
Some up for next week for everyone to see.
And we need to get together as a team anyway and decide on which ones we want to use or not use and what we like and what we don't like. So before we throw them all out there to the public, we should probably talk to the other team members and see which ones they like. We both definitely have our own opinions. The only major problem that I see is that I feel like like the three of you look really well matched together, like the colors like work. And then in all the photos where I'm at the front, my dress makes it look like it's really red. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't red. It's not a red dress at all. It's a burgundy dress. And you guys are a little more purple, but not that much more purple. Not as purple as it looks on my dress. I mean, my dress looks like it's a red dress, not a burgundy dress. So I may talk to our photographer and see if she can do anything with the coloration of my dress, because there are a couple of them we really like, but my dress just looks like a bright red. But there are some other ones that we really like that we were kind of surprised at, like the one with us sitting down mm-hmm. on the couch, on the sofa. Yeah. I don't generally like myself seated, and but there were a couple of them that actually turned out really nice. We'll definitely show you some of the fun stuff too, because there were some a little bit funny ones, a couple of funny ones, and we'll use those as headers on Facebook. So you will have to join Facebook if you want to see them. Sorry. You might be able to see them next week on our show, because we might show them off. Yeah. You see them, but permanently I'm thinking we might use them as headers, because we got such a great response from the last funny one that we did as a header. So it might be nice to put the other one up. But we definitely have some really great choices. We now have Will's picture in. We got a lot of choices for Will, and I'll send those to him later tonight so he can be thinking about it. Will's not going to be with us tomorrow and part of Tuesday because he is taking a short family trip down to Florida. Yeah. We're not going to say why, but it's a good thing. He's coming back. He's just off to visit his aunt in Florida. Uh-huh. So, and his business is really starting to pick up. So that's awesome. We had a great day today for open houses. Will had 4 people at 1701 Flat, which is where he was today. And even, I think he may have picked up a couple of customers. What he's really going to be finding, I think, the most challenging right now is learning how to juggle them and how to weed out the ones that are really serious people and the ones that are not so serious. So, but he did have somebody ask him today, how much does it cost for me to use you as my buyer's agent? And I'll go, that's an excellent question, because it doesn't cost you anything. It costs the sellers in the state of Wisconsin anyway, and actually most places around the country. It's just kind of standard practice that the seller pays the commission to the agent, and any buyer's agents that come are offered a portion of that to they're offered a portion of what the listing agent is getting. Like, it's basically like the listing agent is the one with the actual contract with the seller, and then they share with the buyer's agent, and that's what helps attract.
Percentage of their commission to us,
and depending on what their commission, and depends on what their commission is that they charge as to what we get and things of that nature. So that can vary, because if it was the same price everywhere, that would be price fixing. Yeah, and that's illegal. We don't do that. So that was a really great question for him to have to answer for his buyer tonight. So that's a great question that usually means the buyer's thinking about working with him, that they just want to know what the cost is, which is a smart question to ask. I also met with that great young couple from my open house from a week ago, sat down with them, and can't give you too many details because there's some privacy issues, but there are some challenges with their financing that have nothing to do with their, like, super responsible people, both have full-time jobs. and going through some legal paperwork and things right now that they're going through. But we found a lender that seems to be able to help them. So that's awesome.
Excellent.
It's just a matter of how much are they qualified for and how is he going to structure their loan. So I was pretty stoked about that because it looks like they're going to be all up and running pretty soon here. So that's excellent.
Good.
Another new buyer we picked up. And let's see. Let's talk about...
You got an accepted offer this
Oh, well,
week?
we had a new listing come out this week. On Monday, it dropped. That was 2061 Grove Avenue. And put the sign in the ground and everything. It actually went live on the MLS on Tuesday. And then we got the pictures in late Tuesday afternoon. And there were scheduled on it, though, before we even had pictures out there. Before we even had pictures, there were showings. So that was pretty awesome. We ended up by Thursday morning, we had 3 offers on the table. By about mid-morning, we had 2 of them come in late Wednesday, or one late Wednesday night, one in the Wednesday evening, and the other one Thursday morning. Seller got to sit down, take a look at all of them. But the funny thing about this particular one was how freaked out the seller was. It's so funny because it's not so funny because I didn't want to freak him out, but I did tell him when we list your house, it's going to sell very quickly. And he wasn't prepared for that, was he? Not emotionally. And he kept saying, I know you told me this is how you do things. I just didn't believe you. I'm sorry I didn't believe you. I know you told me this is how you do.
Take months.
I thought it would take a few months and I'm sorry I didn't listen to you and blah, blah. I'm like, it's okay. We can manage this. Don't worry. We'll be fine. And so we negotiated one of them on one term. That was not a big deal, but it really helped him feel more at ease with the whole situation. Gave him some breathing room because he was a little bit like, there was a little bit of a panic mode going on. But it's hard. I mean, how do I say, I'm sorry I sold your house too fast? That's not really something I want to apologize for.
That's
sorry.
Always our goal.
Right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was true to my word. I'm sorry that you didn't understand. Now that is a definitely a true thing. I think I banged it with this. We have a little dent in the wall here, but I think I banged it. Yeah. I'll have to repair it and repaint it. It's just a tiny little thing though. There's all sorts of other little ones. So anyway, so he was so funny because he was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't listen to you. I'm so sorry. I didn't believe you. And by Thursday evening, of course, we had this, he decided which one, accepted it. Oh, goodness, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. Unfortunately, he had to reject 2 other offers. We did go ahead and have the open house today, though, because why did we go ahead and have the open house anyway?
Well, because we've already advertised it. We've sent out postcards, emails, Shore West Marketing.
Yep.
So all of those, we didn't want
people to show up
or potential customers showing up and
thinking that we just weren't going to show up for the open house.
Because you've got 2 alternatives. You either don't go and then they think that's rude.
Right.
Or you don't go and the seller has to deal with all these people turning up at
exactly.
their house.
And I think that's actually worse because the seller
sure.
shouldn't have to deal with the public on that particular issue. So when we talked to the seller, we said, look, we'd still like to do the open house just because we already advertised for it and we don't want to disappoint people if you're okay with that. And he said, yeah, no problem. We already had it planned anyway, so we can absolutely do that. So that's what we did. We went ahead. I had the open house. I did have 2 neighbors come, one that I had met a couple days before, and the other one I had not met before. And she's actually a renter and going through housing resources, so might be able to work with her as a buyer. Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
And
so,
considering you didn't put any signs out or anything.
Yeah, I didn't put any signs out because I didn't want to. I didn't want to be. I didn't want
advertising.
Right. I didn't want to add advertising to it. Yeah. Right. Normally, I'd put open house signs out and things like that. And on 21st Street, which is right off 2061 Grove, is right off 21st Street.
Because we do get a lot of people come to our open houses from the signs.
From our signs, yeah, absolutely. So we did not put out any signs. I didn't even put any at the house as open house because I didn't want people to. My car was parked there and my signs are on my car. So it was pretty obvious there was a Shore West agent there and the door was wide open. So we had a couple of people ring the doorbell, just neighbors stopping in. And I said, yep, absolutely. Come on in. Both of them had received our postcard. But see, here's the thing. That's why those postcards are so important because I had 2 people and the second guy did not know. The first woman said, well, I think this is probably out of my price range, but I just thought I would come over and see what it was like and see what the house was and get an idea of what the market's doing and blah, blah, blah. And I went, yeah, absolutely. That's super smart. And then the guy next door, I thought our seller might have told him that he already had an accepted offer, but he did not tell him, which is funny because when I met this neighbor next door last time, he already knew what the listing price was, even though we weren't live and we weren't going live because the seller had told him, because they're neighbors, they live next door and they get along really well. In fact, both of the neighbors, the one thing that they expressed was they said, oh, it's a beautiful house. It's really nice. It's really clean. And we're going to miss our neighbors a lot because they're super nice. So, but I do think the family, I did actually meet the buyer because he walked in to pay his earnest money while I was walking into the building as well. And so I got to meet the buyer, and he seems like a really nice guy. Yeah. He had a bunch of questions for me, like what could he do this and could he do that? And I said, well, actually, every question he was asking me, I said, actually, that's down to the city of Racine. You got to talk to the city of Racine for that, because city of Racine, if they want to add to the house or they want to change anything on the house, and that was what he was wanting to change, some of the exterior structural. Oh, there's a big deck on, not a big deck, but it's a moderate sized deck that's there. And I think he wants to make it bigger. So it comes, it's got more entertaining space out from the house. And I said, well, for that, you just need to reach out to the city of Racine, make sure you do your permits properly and, put up a new deck if you want to. His agent had reached out to me and said something about he wanted to put on like an extended roof or something. So I'm not sure about that.
Maybe he wants to cover the deck.
Yeah, but he could just do an awning to cover part of the deck or something. That would be something he wouldn't have to get permitted, and he could still put it up.
Yeah.
Well, electric one, he might have to get permitted just for the electrical work. But anyway, so yeah, my open house went really well. This week we got the listing and the accepted offer. Started working with a couple new buyers. Keela graduated from her Shore West training. Woo, woo. Congratulations to Keela for that.
So she was with me today at my open house.
Yes, so let's talk about your open house. So Keela went and did your open house with you, which is great because that's her second one that she's done now with us. And she's technically, if she wants to go out on her own, she can go out on her own.
Yeah.
So
I was at 10568 88th Place in Pleasant Prairie today.
So obviously the first problem with that one, it's not a problem because it was a beautiful house. And if you haven't seen it, go to our Facebook page. Russ actually has a 360 camera that he can attach to his phone. I'm so jealous because we were able to get one for him for his phone. It's a different input than my phone, and his was like less than $50. The ones from my phone are like $150.
Although
so
if I upgrade my phone at any time because they started using the other connection now,
I know.
It won't fit. I'd have to get an adapter and see if it works.
Yeah, I know. That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
Okay, so on to my open house, or back to my
yeah, but if anybody wants to see his open house today, it was a beautiful house, and that 360 camera view was absolutely a gorgeous video. So you did an excellent job.
The living room, kitchen is
it's a big open plan.
So you're able to swipe round and see the whole of that area and some of the rooms off of it.
Yeah, talk about your open house, and then I have an idea I want to talk about with our 360 camera.
So I was at the house in Pleasant Prairie. It's a 5-bedroom, 3 full bathroom,
3-car garage.
3-car garage, yeah, and it's on
over half an acre
for $509,000. Really nice property, well kept, granite counters, got a nice big island in the kitchen.
There's a bedroom on the main level.
Yeah, one of the bedrooms, the actual front room as you go in has got 2 closets inside, one either side of the doorway.
Right.
French doors that open.
So it could be a den office
an office or a bedroom. Yeah.
Right. I also noticed when I was looking at your sheet just now, the laundry's upstairs with all the other bedrooms.
Yes, the laundry is on the upper level.
So jealous.
Yeah. So you got 4 bedrooms on the upper.
That's one of the things we've discussed doing here.
And the laundry up there.
We've discussed actually just buying a stackable and putting it upstairs when we redo the bathroom.
So, yeah, it's a great property. And considering that there's construction work on the main road into that, so I had to come a different way to get to the property. We still had a ton of people.
Yeah, you had 9 groups through, you
9
said.
groups through. So
And
that was
apparently a
really
lot of
good.
kids that you started connecting with as well. And it looks like he may have spotted our next new team member.
Yeah.
So I think that was what, the Ansaris? Was that their last name?
No, that was...
I thought it was some...
No, it was...
Okay, different person. That's all right. You don't have to look for
the
it.
Martins.
The Martins.
Yeah.
So their son...
Jude Martin's son, who's was walking around taking notes of how
taking
many
notes of all the
bedrooms,
bedrooms and taking notes on all the rooms and
rooms.
stuff, which was awesome. And Russ is
Yeah.
like, that's great. You can be a future realtor. You want a job? He tried to hire him. He's a little young. He was under 18, so we can't hire him
he
yet.
was enthusiastic there.
Yeah.
So that's
Did he
good.
say yes when you asked him?
He was laughing with his dad.
Right.
But apparently he loves doing that. He's been to several showings with his parents, looking at different open houses, and
Well, I actually think that's great because I
he's
would love
making
to
a
see
note
people.
of what's on the,
Do you know
in
what
the
I think is
house.
great about that? Is that a lot of people, especially my generation and your generation, none of us were raised with necessarily a good view of realtors.
No.
Like me growing up, I always thought realtors were like kind of stuffy and stuck up and et cetera. So I think it's great if you had a chance to connect with this kid because, you know, I would love to see more kids say, when I grow up, I mean, you know, kids say, I want to grow up, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a, you know, I want to be in the army, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, you know, like these things.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome if kids grew up saying, I want to be a realtor because I want to help my community, I want to give back to my community, I want to help and build my
Yeah,
community.
because we do a lot for our communities.
Absolutely, because being a
We're
realtor is not...
constantly trying. I mean, I am part of a group at Shore West where in our office we have a committee, and every year
Yeah.
we decide what community projects we're going to get involved with and give money to.
So, and that's what's cool about that is, I mean, we have like $5,000 in that fund this
Yeah,
year.
it's based on how many agents we have in the
Right.
office.
But we have like $5,000 in that fund this year alone, and that's the automatic amount that we get from corporate.
Yeah.
That doesn't include all the man hours that Shore West agents that our agents in our office put into each of these events. Because
Yeah.
these events, we may sponsor them or highlight them as great community events, but then we also give back. And speaking of
Yeah.
which, that was Empty Bowls this week.
Yeah.
So one of the events
So
that we
Quite a
sponsored.
few agents gave time.
Yep.
A lot of us went and painted bowls and paid for that
Yep.
out of
So
our pocket.
it
which
starts with at
then
that
gets
event.
sold.
We a bunch of us actually got together and painted bowls to donate to the event, and we pay to do that. So it's not like we're doing that for free. That's money out of our own individual pockets, but we get together and it's a good time. Don't
It's
get
a
me
good
wrong.
time. We
It's
have
still a good
couple of
time.
Bowls of wine, etc.
Yeah, I've got some snacks, and you know, it's a good time for
good.
everybody. But then those bowls are getting donated to the event, and then at the event itself, we also have volunteers, people in the bread line, people in the kitchen,
People washing up,
people washing
people
dishes, and
serving.
yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Russ and I were not able to volunteer for that event this year, which is unusual.
Yeah, we
every year,
normally do.
normally we do, but
Well,
this
you've
year,
been on the committee for the last 3 or 4
right? And I
years.
stepped down from the committee last year purely because I knew that we were headed in this direction for a team, and I knew I was probably not going to have the time to put into the committee that it required, and I wanted to step down before. Like, I didn't want to drop them in the middle of it. I didn't think that was right. So I retired from that or stepped down from that in August or September,
Yeah.
something like that. And I am so glad that I did now because I had no idea that we'd have both Will and Keela at the same time being trained and all the things we do with them. So like Monday nights is our team meeting night now.
Yep.
And in the future, when I want to volunteer for Empty Bowls, I'll make sure and volunteer for the morning time for that noon. But then I had some appointments that day.
Yeah.
So I had listing appointments. We
We've
had,
been having listing appointments.
yeah. Well,
Buyer meetings.
well, first of all, that one listing went live. Well, not live, but it had to be finished up on Monday, and then turned in and everything. And then I had an appointment on Monday as well. We had 2 more appointments on Friday for listings, and
we got team of the month.
oh yeah, we got team of the month. Did we talk about that last week?
No,
I don't think
know.
we knew, did we?
No.
So the Adams Man team is team of the month from February. So the cool thing about that is that we get some dedicated parking spots right up at the
Yeah.
front. Yeah. Although it's been kind of funny because it's
I still went to walk. To
He's
my old
because
spot.
we used to park in a particular spot all the time. Pretty much, it's not like our dedicated spot, but we always parked on the street side of the parking lot along this one row. And it wasn't always the same spot, but pretty much that's where we park every day because we're there pretty early. And so as we were leaving work the other day, Russ started to just mindlessly walk towards that side. Well, the team of the month parking is the opposite side. And I'm like, you remember we're team of the month? And he went, oh yeah. Because the way our parking is set up is there's the steps down, which go to this side of the parking lot. And then there's a ramp for handicap accessibility over on this side. But that kind of naturally goes towards where the team of the month dedicated parking is. Mm-hmm. So I just walked down the ramp now going towards my car, and he started going this way just as if it was so funny. He totally forgot.
Yeah, I did.
But it's only 1 week. I'm thinking maybe if Will gets a buyer agency signed, though, I'm going to give him 3 days in my spot. Because I think that'd be a really nice, like maybe say between tomorrow night, I was thinking about saying, hey, Keela and Will, either you get a buyer agency signed, you'll get 3 days at the team of the month spot.
Uh-huh.
You can use that because you do that this month. I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
Get a buyer agency or an offer because Will is so excited because he's showing properties now. Like he's got people who actually want to look at properties and are actually going out and looking and are qualified. And he's got loads of people he sent over to a vet to get them qualified for a loan. And so he's trying to fill up her hopper. That's for sure.
Yeah. Because the rates are
the rates this week are insane.
Well, you was talking to one of our lenders.
Yeah, I was talking to Dawn Merritt from Johnson Bank. I've got a transaction with her with one of my customers that's closing at the end of March. And we had a little hiccup, and so I needed to talk to Dawn. So I called her at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, something like that. And at 9 o'clock at night, she calls me back, and I'm like, whoa, you're working really late. She's like, yeah, I had 70 odd. Can't remember exactly how many. Seven. I can't remember. 70 something emails asking for refinance on Wednesday because the rates went whoom. Well, because their published rate was 3.3. That was Johnson's published rate was 3.3.
I know Terry locked one in at 2.75.
Terry Schrader from Wisconsin Mortgage locked in a 20-year at 2.75 for a customer.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you have to be really well qualified for that, for either of those numbers, but yeah, that was a 20-year. That's why. That's just insane. So all-time lows on mortgages right now. So while the coronavirus is raising, we got mortgage rates dropping. So we'll see. Speaking of the coronavirus, that's kind of been a little bit interesting this week. I got in a fight with a family member who shall remain nameless without wanting to get in a fight. Like I tried to walk away 3 times and they just kept coming at me verbally through Facebook Messenger. And the problem with family is you can't just cut them off and ignore them. But yeah, it's funny because I do think we should be cautious. So here's the balance of that. All right. I think there are far too many Americans who are just pushing it aside and saying it doesn't matter. I also think there are far too many Americans who are doing things like, that video you saw this week that had 2 women in the grocery store, one woman with the cart full of toilet paper, and the other woman was fighting with her physically, like hair pulling, punching on the ground kind of things, all because the one woman who had her cart full of toilet paper wouldn't even give this woman one package of toilet paper for herself. And I do think the woman, I'm going to be honest, I don't think it should have resorted to fights and to physicality. However, I do think the woman with her cart full of toilet paper should have given one packet to the other woman. It was
her daughter that hit the other woman.
Yeah. It was like one packet, you can't give up one.
It looks like, it didn't go, the video stopped, but it looked like the shop manager took the cart off of the woman that was hoarding it.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a hoarding type situation. And you just go, come on, folks, let's be nice. And those of you that know us,
we have to be rationed on toilet paper.
I know. Well, some people are afraid that if they get quarantined for 14 days that they're going to run out of toilet paper, so they're stockpiling it. Because that's the most important thing in the world. Folks, I know it's not fun, but you can actually use cloths and wash them.
Or the shower.
Yeah, or just use the shower to rinse off if you have to.
Have a handheld bidet.
If you are... If you are stuck in your house for quarantine, you'll be fine. And if you're stuck in a hospital, they're going to help you clean. They're going to have toilet paper for you. So please don't.
Well, you shipped or one of the, delivery
Yeah,
services.
you can get toilet paper delivered to your house through
Yeah.
grocery services nowadays, unless you're way out in the country, and out there nobody cares if you have toilet paper or not. You just use leaves anyway. Well, maybe not so much this time of year up north. It's a bit
Just
cold still.
Make sure they're not stinging now.
Yeah, not stinging nettles. That's not good. But what I wanted to say was I think we should start using your 360 camera to do a video walkthrough of our new listings. What do you think?
Yeah, we could do.
I'm actually thinking that I should grab your phone in the 360 camera when I do my
phone alone.
Well, you can come and do it yourself then. I was thinking you wouldn't have to come. But I could take it, give you my phone to use while I'm gone, and take it and do a 360 walkthrough of a new listing.
Yeah.
And then put that up as part of our advertising. Because that 360 camera is amazing. It honestly,
it's awesome.
What's nice about it is that we can stand there and talk and just walk straight through the rooms. We don't have to be any fancy angles because you can just swipe right or left and up and down.
You don't have to look at me. You can look.
Right, you don't have to look at
what
me
I'm
either.
looking at.
Right, you can just swipe
Or
around
you
and
can-
look at
you
it.
can-
Oh, it's amazing.
You can slide it down so you can look at what the flooring's like, or up to see if it's got a tray ceiling.
There is a good chance that when we close some of this stuff at the end of the month, that there may be another one of those arriving on our doorstep with my with my camera for my phone. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a good possibility.
I think it's a very good. I don't care what the price is at this point because I'm so jealous of your 360 camera. But let's see, we had great open houses. We had a great new listing that went like that. It was listed at 175. I called it the Granite Galore because at 175 you don't expect to see granite countertops in the bathroom. There were 3 bedroom, 2 bath, huge master bedroom. It had enough room for a big king size bed and a sitting area. 13-foot long closet. Not quite as wide as Sandy's, but definitely as long as Sandy's closet and actually a little longer than her closet, but not quite as wide. So yours is definitely still better, Sandy. But the both of the bathrooms have granite countertop. Both of the bathrooms had tile floors, not linoleum. The entryway was a hard, ceramic tile floor. The kitchen is a tile floor. To find all of that in a $175,000 house is not typical.
No.
At all. And the house was built in 2004, so it's a much newer construction and a 2-car attached garage.
Yeah. So it's a really good property in a nice area, and
Decent location.
we knew that, and it went fast.
It did. But all of our offers came in right around that price.
Yeah.
None of the offers went like crazy high, like up to 200 or anything like that, which tells me that
That we got
the price
just
right. Yeah, we got it just right. We got it right enough to be able to get multiple offers in, but nobody was massively overbidding, so it wasn't, it wasn't like it was $10,000-$15,000 over asking type situation. Some of the offers asked for closing costs. Some of them asked for, they all had different style mortgages or financing options. All 3 of them had different financing options. One of them had loads of inspections. The other one had almost no inspections. One had a home sale contingency. It was really all over the place. They were 3 very, very unique offers. So the combination of all that. Oh, they also had very different closing dates.
Yeah.
Another big deal kind of thing. So just, all sorts of all over the place kind of offers. So we had to take all of those elements and figure out, okay, which is the best set that fits this seller? Like this seller had to sit down and say, okay, which of these is the best fit for me and my family and what we need? And it wasn't too overly hard, but we did get it figured out.
Yeah.
So
we now move onwards and upwards.
yeah, absolutely.
Heading for closing.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So we're pretty excited about that. We'll let you know the price that it closed at when it closes, which will be sometime
Yeah,
in
because that's
April.
confidential at the moment. So
Yep, we can't say we can't
anywhere.
tell you when it is in April, but I can say it's in April, and that's not really giving
Yeah.
anything away.
It'll be after I come back from the UK. So
Yes, it will be after that. I think for while he's gone in the UK that week, though, I do think I'm just going to upload a video because that is Easter, and if
and you've got to cover a closing for me. Hopefully that goes ahead.
yep,
I
I'm
need
sure
to
it will.
Speak to my buyer tomorrow.
Yep, I'm sure it will. But yeah, and Russ has got a new buyer that he's working with as well. Unfortunately, it seems that motherhood/pregnancy keeps getting in the way of
Yeah, she. I feel
They
sorry
definitely
for her.
want to
She's
work with Russ, and
fine with morning sickness.
yeah,
And,
which isn't always in the morning.
no,
That's the thing.
I know. People
So
say
it's called morning sickness, but it's not
Yeah.
always in the morning. So,
she's having
poor
a
thing.
struggle, poor
Every
thing,
time
yeah.
they've tried to get together, she's just been
They
really
was actually on their way to see me the
Well,
other
and,
day, and had to
and
turn
they haven't
around.
responded to that question, like as to whether it'd be better for you to meet them.
I didn't check today. Actually,
Right.
I was a bit busy doing other
Yes,
things, doing
putting all the
CMAs
people in. Yep.
and entering everybody that came to the open house,
Yep.
putting their details in
Absolutely.
into our system,
Yep. Absolutely.
so that I can inform them of next week's open houses.
Yeah. Which we need to reach out for tomorrow. So
Yeah.
we'll reach out and we'll get hopefully 3 or 4 more. Keela will probably be doing her first open house on her own
Yeah, I'll have
next
to
week.
speak to her tomorrow and see if she wants me to get one for her.
You're going to get one for her. What I'll do is I'll just not have one this week.
Okay.
And that way, if she changes her mind or something, but one of us needs to be there at the beginning anyway to help her get started, help her get
Yeah.
set up, and et cetera, et cetera. So
So
we'll
you
let
can
Keela
do
fly
that.
solo this week. Yeah, good job for her. So
We need to get some more signs.
yes, we are going to have to get some more signs.
Because I had some ragamuffin stole one of my signs last week.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about that last week. Somebody stole one of Russ's Shore West signs, so they must be
Yeah.
very popular. It must be awesome. We're not really sure who would have stolen it from the particular. Sometimes people will move them if they feel like it's on their property, but the particular one that went missing wasn't on anybody's property. It was on a median in the middle of the road, so it wasn't anywhere close to anybody's property.
Yeah.
At all.
So-
So they really had whoever did touch it and take it had no right to take it because it wasn't on their property. But Russ went away with 6 signs and came back with 5.
Yeah.
So that was
And
not
we need
great.
to get some more anyway, because with
Yes.
the 4 of us, if all 4
Yes.
of us have open houses, some open houses need more signs.
Absolutely.
Than others.
Some open houses need up to 10 signs
Yeah.
to sign them out to the the main road, especially some of the condos we've been holding
Yeah.
open recently.
I mean, the one today, I could have done with more. I had 8 out.
well, you could have
used all
taken
8.
more.
Yeah, I could have, but I thought I might be okay with 8, and I was, but where I would have normally put 4, I only put 2. Kitty
Gotcha.
cornered and stuff like that. So
Yeah, exactly.
because of the construction, I was trying to feed them in a different way, and so
Yep.
there was, a lot of turns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did have enough for him this week because I didn't need any signs because I
Yeah.
wasn't advertising mine any more than we already had. But yeah. So hopefully you guys have got a lot of great information. The market is definitely heating up. If you're a buyer, contact us. If you go on our Facebook page, there is, and actually, you know what? I will put a link to it. We do have our new spring buyers and sellers guides. I'll put a link to it in the final here so that you can take a look at it. And if you need or want one of the buyer or seller guides, they are a nationwide publication. So they don't focus just on Wisconsin. So no matter where you are in the nation, they would actually apply to you because they talk about the national trends rather than the local trends. We talk about the local trends ourselves, but the national trends are done by this publication that we have that comes out. We pull national trends together. So we've got the new spring ones that we just finished up yesterday, and we were running a Facebook ad, and it's on our Facebook page. So you can either click through the links on our Facebook page, or I'm going to put the links up here when we finish up tonight so that you can click and get your updated seller guides and your buyer guides. Even if you're not looking to sell your home, it's great to know what the national trends are.
Yeah.
So it's a great little publication. It's only like 24 pages. Super easy. You'll just get a PDF version of it. No big deal. It's just a PDF, so you don't even have to print it out or anything like that. You can just read it on your computer if you want to.
Yeah.
And page 1 is of 24 is the front cover. Page 2 is the index, and page 24 is our contact details. So it's really only like 21 pages of reading. So that's not bad.
And there's a lot of pictures.
And it's got a lot of pictures too.
And
Yes,
graphs
it's not
and
just
stuff
reading.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lot of graphs and pictures and talks about FICO scores on the buyer ones and the seller ones, about presentation of home and things like that, and professional photography. So, anything else you want to add this week? Trying to think.
Did we go to that this week?
No, that was the week before.
No. So
That's it.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to cut into some of that meat.
Oh, yeah. So Russ did smoke some meat yesterday. He smoked half of a turkey. We roasted a half a turkey a couple of days before, and then he smoked the other half of it yesterday with a great big chunk of lamb that's all smoked up and ready to go. So the great thing about smoked meat is for us in our lifestyle, it's really awesome to be able to, because it preserves it first. So it's the meat already cooked and et cetera, and it lasts. Like it will last like days and days and days. Actually, it's lasted up to a week before without even.
Yeah.
It doesn't go bad because of it being smoked. So, so that's kind of nice.
Cured.
Yeah, it's really well cured, and that's really convenient for our lifestyle. To be able to just come in, grab what we need, have a quick snack, or warm some up for dinner. So, yeah. So he put his smoker to use, and it's looking really good. So
It's so good having the electric out in the garage.
Oh,
so
I know.
can
It's
just
amazing.
Plug it in. I've got a light there.
I know. It's like having another stove out there, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
It is. It's awesome. But anyway, thanks for joining us. And you know what, guys? That's kind of like why we love being homeowners and why we want other people to as well. Russ likes to smoke meat, and it's one of his hobbies that he does. And you know what? If it's a hobby that you would enjoy, that's the whole point of home ownership, is being able to have the hobbies. Some people like to garden. Some people like to sit out and have parties with their family and their friends. Some people like to have a great community that they're involved with. Some people like to work on their cars in their garage and things of that nature. So whatever your hobby is, we can help you find a home to fit that. And no matter what your budget, we will also find you a home. It might not be the prettiest home, but it will be a home. And
it will be your home.
And it will be yours. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. If you like what you've seen here tonight, probably not the first 15, 20 minutes, but if you've liked what you've seen since then, please click like or subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and we will see you next week.